Hi, I am back with the third and final part of the girl voice tutorial. I'm going to try to avoid being one of those channels that just milks a single topic forever. At least I'll try. In the last video, I asked people to leave comments, and you guys did. You guys left a lot of comments, and both of them have done insanely well. In fact, much better than any other video I posted on this channel, because you guys seem to appreciate those videos. Here we are, part 3. A lot of people were asking how to do the Mickey Mouse voice, how to raise your Adam's apple, etc., and a lot of other different things. And I'm going to do my best to go over each comment that I've gotten so far, and we'll go from there. Because this is my last video regarding the girl voice tutorial, I feel that it's probably best to do something special as a finale for it, or maybe it's just an excuse to play dress up, but regardless, here we are. Let's get started. And of course, yes, I am using a filter. I don't do this nearly often enough to buy makeup. Before we get to the comments, I would like to address one thing first. It's probably a good idea to go over some more beginner tips that I forgot to think of before, and now this time I think I've got all of them down. I'll even talk about exactly the steps that I took when I was first learning how to do the voice and what were some of the, I guess, like exercises that I did. First, I would highly encourage you to practice the same voice line like hundreds and hundreds of times. For example, I started saying, "Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It is a Sith legend." That's how I started. I would just say that line over and over and over in the car while I was like driving from the gym, and I would just practice that line constantly. And then once you feel like you've gotten pretty comfortable with that line, you should move on to trying to go in and out of it. That way, when you can go in and out of it comfortably, well, then you've just about got the voice down. So, for example, if you can go, "Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you," then you're probably on a good path. Keep practicing the same line over and over and over. Doesn't have to be that one, it can be whatever you want. Another really big tip you need to know, you need to be hydrated. Drink plenty of water, otherwise you're gonna have a really bad time. I find it easier if I haven't talked a whole lot, right? Like if my voice is still like kind of like not warmed up, I guess. So like the easiest time I have doing the girl voice is when I've been really quiet for a long time, or like if I've just woken up. Another really big tip is to practice in private. Do not, and I repeat, do not try to do the girl voice in front of your friends. You will feel like an idiot. You will like stutter and you will freak out and you will hesitate. You need to do this in isolation by yourself. The easiest thing you can do is record yourself on maybe Snapchat or some other application like that. Do your best girl voice impression, and then when you hear it, cringe at your very first attempts cringe at your very first few attempts, and then continue pushing through, because I promise you're gonna feel pretty embarrassed. And lastly, before we get into the comments of the other videos, I forgot to mention one final thing. Projection is so important, okay? You'll notice that I'm talking very quietly in the other videos. It can actually be pretty hard to hear my voice. That is not a very good thing. You want to be able to speak at a normal volume. Like, I didn't even realize how quiet I was speaking. It just kind of happens, right? You need to speak up. And that can be very hard because the girl voice is usually generally pretty soft. You need to learn how to speak up. It can be really hard. And if you can speak up properly, right? Like, if you can have a normal sounding voice while also being able to talk pretty high or being pretty loud, I guess. I promise you, you're going to be kind of quiet when you do it. If you're able to speak up at a normal volume and you can also maintain the girl voice, then that is S tier. You definitely need to work on your projection. Projection is very important because you don't want to sound like you're whispering because, like, most people don't talk like this. I also would like to go into the genetic aspect of being able to do the girl voice. Now, I don't think I have a high-pitched natural voice by any means, but I also don't have the lowest pitch either. I guarantee you've probably seen these two YouTubers right here do their speak on the girl voice. Now, these guys, they have an S tier girl voice.
So a lot of people have emailed me asking about how to do the girl voice. So here it is.
Then you're gonna have the imitation that you're looking for. Like, what's just like a little bit higher than you might talk? You don't have to talk high.
There's one rule that you can't forget no matter what, and that's staying hydrated.
And your Adam's apple is just smoothed out. You can't really feel it because you've successfully tightened your vocal cords.
If you already have a pretty high-pitched voice, or at least like relatively speaking like these guys, then you have insane capabilities. However, just because you have a lower pitched voice doesn't mean you can't have an incredible girl voice too. Listen to this trans girl talking. Her voice is incredible.
This guide is meant for anyone who is looking to feminize their voice out of necessity, is curious the process, or simply for voice acting purposes.
This is my old voice, or at least as close as I can get it now. And this is as deep as I can go now while still sounding believable.
If you really want to learn how to do a feminine voice, and my videos aren't enough, I would highly encourage you to try checking out some trans girl YouTubers. Some of them I watched a lot. Z from Trans Voice Lessons is an incredible teacher, right? She does a phenomenal job of explaining like the biology and like some exercises to do to work on getting the right voice. If you keep those things I said in mind, I promise you, it will help you out so much while you're practicing. Okay, and now we can move on to the comments. First, we're going to start with the comments on the very first video that I did. A lot of people are saying thank you, and to that I say you're welcome, and I'm really glad that this was able to help you. I was so lost when I was trying to do this. It wasn't until I discovered, I'm going to call it the Mickey Mouse method. I guess you could say the MMM. But it wasn't until I discovered that method that I was like, oh dang, like this is something that can really help people out. And so I should probably spread the word about it. Twin Tyra asks, are you femboy? Not exactly. I mean, if we're gonna talk about like gender, like I've never really like cared about my gender, right? Like I present myself like pretty masculine normally, but like I never really cared. So like, am I a femboy? I don't fucking know. I don't really care. This guy says, why did I find this funny? Probably because it kind of is. I don't know. Maybe. Shit. Smokey asks, weird question, but how old are you? Person replies, he locks 15 and 30. Smokey then replies, Lamau, why did I even ask that question? Haha, that's such a weird question. Yeah, funny thing, I actually just turned 18. No, I'm just kidding. My birthday was last week and I turned 23. So I guess I'm kind of a boomer now. Okay, and now we are moving on to video number 2. Colleen says, imagine your dad walking in your room. And to that I say, do a tutorial of Mickey Mouse voice. I'm having trouble raising my Adam's apple and doing to Mickey Mouse voice into the girl voice. Understandable. The easiest way to raise your Adam's apple is to swallow, right? Watch this. You saw it shoot up, right? It's because I swallowed. And when you swallow, if you can hold it there, well, your Adam's apple is effectively raised. And that's probably the easiest way of achieving that. That's the sort of feeling you should have. However, though, going back to one of my first things I said, be sure not to strain. Do not like strain your voice. You should not be choking. Remember, you're making a very subtle change. Do not like do that. You will hurt yourself. Do not do that. You shouldn't be doing that to begin with. It's a very subtle change. Probably the easiest way I can describe, I am raising like the back of my throat almost, right? It's really the back of your tongue, but it feels more like it's the back of your throat. You should feel it like right underneath your chin here. That's where the back of your tongue is, right? This is what I believe. I need to make it very clear that literally by no means am I an expert. Like, I'm literally not an expert, like, whatsoever. However, though, I have a good bit of experience practicing it. I've been doing this voice since July, I think. I believe it is the very back of your tongue that needs to be, like, raised up. That help gives you the effect that you need. In the 2 seconds of me trying to figure out the best way to describe how to do the Mickey Mouse voice, a very good way of learning it, pretend to be an owl. What do owls go? They go, hoo, hoo, right? And you should feel your, like your throat should resonate a very certain way. Hoo, hoo, ho, ho, right? Like, instead of going hoo, start going ho, and then turn that ho into Ho, 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 ho. I'm Mickey Mouse. Now I'm doing the Mickey Mouse voice, right? Like, you do that. That's probably one of the easiest ways to achieve that. If you can imitate an owl, then do that. But no, people will ask me, Corrine, do an owl imitation video, and that I'm gonna be like, yeah, make owl sounds. That's the best way to start learning the Mickey Mouse voice. So you're gonna go, hoo, hoo, ho, ho. You're gonna turn the who's into hoes, and then you're gonna go, ho, ho, I'm Mickey Mouse. And then you'll turn the Mickey Mouse voice more into this. The idea of the Mickey Mouse voice is to use that as a foundation to build onto the feminine voice. It's pretty easy to go from here into here. It's a pretty straightforward transition. This person, whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, says, bruh, what do you mean by flamboyant voice? I don't know how I'm supposed to sound even from last vid. Yeah, with the flamboyant voice, in the last one, I probably should have exaggerated it a little bit harder, but by flamboyant, I mean, if you try to make yourself sound like you're stereotypically gay, so by that, the person replying does basically a perfect job of explaining what the flamboyant voice sounds like. If you hear me talking like this, you'll probably think that, like, I'm gay, right? This is the stereotypically flamboyant voice. Like, obviously this is me talking normally, and this is me when I'm doing that voice. TLDR, if you want to know flamboyant voice, I mean, like, just think of, like, James Charles or something like that. I'm exaggerating it greatly, but that's the idea. The real question is, do we actually need to sound like Mickey? It's a good stepping stone. Before you can run, you need to learn how to walk, right? And think of the Mickey Mouse voice as like walking, right? You do that, and then you can transition into learning how to do the feminine voice. Pyro Pupper says, from a trans girl, thank you, bro. And to that, I'm really happy. I'm super glad I could help you. I am a big advocate for trans rights, and helping anyone out is always a beautiful thing to me. And I was sure to save the best comment for last. Super Blitzen GD says, nice. No unlikers. Anyway, these are all the comments that I felt that I needed to go through, and I hope that this can be the end-all be-all series on learning how to do the girl voice. I would highly encourage you to check out other people who have achieved a good feminine voice, or listen to trans YouTubers who give great voice tutorials. Some of them I listened to almost religiously, and then I was able to learn the voice that I know now. Thank you guys for watching. In terms of future content, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. I'm a college kid and I'm close to graduating. If I do make more content in the future, which I probably will, I'll probably do something regarding Among Us. That's a really fun game I like to play. Okay, so if you guys want to see me attempt to be an detective, okay, so if you guys want to see me attempt to be a detective, or if you want to see me be a murderer, yeah, be sure to, I guess, subscribe or do whatever. Let me know if that would be, like, good content to make. It's a really fun game. I enjoy playing it with friends. It'd be really nice to, I guess, make videos revolving around that. Okay, and I guess with everything being said now, I guess that's the end of the video. Oh, that was bad. Yo, oh, my voice is so dead, bro. I cannot do the voice right now. I've been talking for way too much. Yeah, I guess that's the end of the video, so, thanks, and, bye, I guess.